Even as the crunch in the health sector continues to be felt, striking health workers, including clinical officers, have maintained that the strike is still on. This even as the Council of Governors, led by its chair Wycliffe Oparanya, insists that it will not meet the demands tabled by the striking health workers.
Mimi nimesema na mkiwa nao mwambie hata waende strike miaka 100. Hakuna pesa mimi nitalipa, kwa sababu hawa nurses wanalipa hata kuliko engineer. Wale engineer unaona wa barabara na madigrii, allowance sijui 16 kwa mshahara, call allowance, risk allowance.
However, Labour CS Simon Chelugui has hinted that dialogue between the striking health workers, including clinical officers and nurses, is on top gear, citing that before the end of the month, a truce to the strike that has already paralyzed operations in many counties will be arrived at. This even as Baringo County boss insists that some of the demands being made by the health workers can only be fulfilled by the national government.
Kuna vikundi mbili tu ambao ni clinical officers na nurses ambao walikuwa na kuuliza waongezewe pesa ya allowances. Nadhani vile tulikubaliana kule Nairobi, kuna yale ambao tunaweza kufanya na ile hatuwezi.
Sasa tuko na mazungumzo na clinicians and our nurses, and I hope before end of this month we will be announcing nationally a formula on return to work.
The Union of Clinical Officers has held its head high, saying it will not bow down to any form of intimidation or threats. However, it has called on the Oparanya-led council to include health workers on the negotiating table.
The threats, intimidations, the dismissals will not solve the health crisis that we have now. We must be able to engage in social dialogue. And while doing that, we must do so with the goodwill that is demanded by the same process.
The recent threats, intimidation and unfair labor practices propagated by some counties, including Taita Taveta, Kisii, Mombasa, among others, have been criticized by the health workers.
Any threat to fire a clinical officer, to fire any healthcare worker, can never actually go without an answer. And that is why we are saying we are not politicians. What we want is a consideration, prioritization on matters of health and protection of healthcare workers, and including those who are seeking services in our public facility. If that one cannot guarantee it, let Governor Ongwai and his counterpart, the chairman of the council, Governor Oparanya, forget it.
Nano Cloren, TV 47.